This news blast is brought to you by Haven, helping all victims in need of Armstrong County. From March through May, they will be hosting discussion groups focused on domestic violence in rural parts of the county. For details, turn to the events page of the Pennsylvania Equality Project website, paequality.com. From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the latest news blast for March 6, 2025. California Governor Gavin Newsom, a potential 2028 Democratic presidential candidate, used the inaugural episode of his new podcast to break from progressives by speaking out against allowing transgender women and girls to compete in female sports. Newsom made his declaration in an extended conversation with conservative activist Charlie Kirk, the 31-year-old who built the influential Turning Point USA organization that helped President Donald Trump increase his support last fall among the youngest generation of voters. Kirk, like Trump, has been a vocal opponent of allowing transgender women and girls to participate. I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. It's an issue of fairness. It's deeply unfair, Newsom told Kirk. On This is Gavin Newsom. I'm not wrestling with the fairness issue, continued Newsom, who played varsity baseball as a college student. I totally agree with you. I revere sports. So the issue of fairness is completely legit. The governor's comments are the latest in Democrats' efforts to reconcile a 2024 election that returned Trump to the White House and gave Republicans control of both chambers of Congress. Among the disagreements since November is how much cultural issues, as opposed to economic policy and other matters, explain the party's losses. Overall, polling suggests that allowing transgender female athletes to play on women's teams is not broadly popular. Even most Democrats, around 7 in 10, oppose allowing transgender female athletes to participate in women's sports, according to a January New York Times Ipsos poll. A 2023 Gallup poll also found that Democrats were divided on whether transgender people should be able to play on sports teams that match their current gender identity. Newsom, who has long positioned himself as a social progressive, drew sharp rebukes from LGBTQ advocates. Tony Wong, executive director of Equality California, said he was disappointed and angered by Newsom's statements, and that they added to the heartbreak and fear the transgender community feels under the Trump administration. Right now, transgender youth, their families, their doctors, and their teachers are facing unprecedented attacks from extremist politicians who want to eviscerate their civil rights and erase them from public life, Wong said. They need leaders who will unequivocally fight for them. California law enacted before Newsom became governor requires schools in the state to allow transgender athletes to play on school sports teams consistent with their gender identity. Beyond questions about athletics, there's less public support for broader restrictions on transgender rights and issues like medical care for transgender people, particularly among Democrats. That's our news blast for this hour. Download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. Up next, we have the latest weather forecast for the Meadville area here on PEP Radio.